The topic for today's video is going to be risk aversion. You are given two choices, choice A and choice B. Choice A offers you $400 guaranteed and choice B offers you $200 guaranteed and a 50% chance of winning $400, which takes your winnings to $600. So what are you going to choose, A or B? I know most of you are going to choose A because the main reason behind it is the certainty. It offers you a certainty. In choice B, there is a chance of losing $400 and your winnings are only stick to $200. But if you will look closely, the expected value of both choice A and choice B are both $400. So there is mathematically both the choices A and B are equal. So this example gives rise to a question. Why are we choosing option A over option B? Why are we choosing certainty over uncertainty? This gives rise to risk aversion. The risk aversion says that an investor gets greater or more utility from certainty than from gamble with same expected value or sometimes even higher expected value. This is what we have seen in the last example, that people prefer certainty over uncertainty. Insurance companies. So why do we go to insurance companies? Because we want certainty. Certainty from what? Certainty from the future accidents or incidents that can happen. The risk aversion is used by the insurance companies as their main principle. They use the risk averse nature of people and take premium from them for the incidents or accidents that can happen, and they provide them certainty and take all the gamble and risk upon them. So now comes the major question. How do we measure the level of risk aversion? This can be measured by two ways. Firstly, the graph, and second is the mathematical way. Firstly, we are going to discuss the graphical way and then the mathematical way. This is the curve of a risk averse investor. To understand this graph, we need to understand what this graph represents. On the x-axis, it represents the wealth, and on the y-axis, it represents the utility. What does this line represent? This line represents the marginal utility or the satisfaction that is received by the investor from every single penny of wealth that he is earning. Now the question arrives, why this line is curved? This is due to the diminishing marginal utility. The diminishing marginal utility says that as the wealth increases, the satisfaction or the utility that is derived from every single or extra penny that we are getting decreases, or the satisfaction that is derived from every extra penny decreases. So this concave curve is a proof that the investor is risk averse, and the more concave curve this is going to be, the more risk averse the investor is going to be. And if this curve is a straight line, we would say that the investor is risk neutral. And if this curve is going to be convex, so we are going to say that the investor is risk lover. So the mathematical way of measuring risk aversion is absolute risk aversion. Absolute risk aversion measures the change in behavior of investing with unit change in investors' wealth. And this change in behavior is due to the change in marginal utility with the change in wealth. We have seen this in the graph also. The formula of absolute risk aversion is minus double derivative of utility of wealth divided by the single derivative of utility of wealth. We will be understanding both the single derivative and double derivative of this utility of wealth from both economic and mathematical point of view. Firstly, the single derivative of utility of wealth. From economic point of view, it tells us about the marginal utility that the investor is getting from the increase in wealth, and it is always greater than zero, which means that the investor is happy by getting more wealth. And who will not be happy by getting more wealth? From the mathematical point of view, the first derivative tells us about the direction in which the function is going, and we have seen that the curve was going in positive direction. So the single derivative of utility of wealth is always greater than zero, which makes the denominator of this formula positive. Now coming to the numerator, that is the double derivative of utility of wealth. From mathematical point of view, the double derivative tells us about the slope of the curve. And we have seen in the last graph that the slope was declining, which makes double derivative of utility of wealth negative. And from the economic point of view, the diminishing marginal utility is working here, which makes this negative. But we want the absolute value. So a minus sign is put in front of the formula to make this an absolute value. So if we differentiate the absolute risk aversion with respect to wealth, we will see how the investor behaves with the change in wealth. There could be three scenarios. The value could be either greater than 0, equal to 0, or less than 0. Let us understand what these means. If the value is greater than 0, it means that the investor will hold few money or less money in risky assets. This is a condition of increasing risk aversion. If it is equal to 0, it means that the investor will hold the same amount of money in risky assets, which is known as the constant risk aversion. And if it is less than 0, which means that he will hold more wealth in risky assets, which is known as decreasing risk aversion. And the last condition seem to be more logically justified because as your wealth increases, you will increase your investment both in risky as well as non-risky assets. So the second mathematical way of measuring risk aversion is relative risk aversion. It measures the proportion of increase or decrease in investment, that is in risky assets, with proportion to change in wealth. So here the focus is on the proportion of change in wealth that is invested in risky and non-risky or safe assets. If the wealth of a person increases by some proportion and his proportion of investment in risky asset increases more than the wealth, then he is said to exhibit decreasing relative risk aversion. This statement means that he is now less afraid of risk. This will become more clear with this example. For example, if the current wealth of a person is $100 and he holds $70 in risky assets, which means 70% of his wealth is invested in risky assets. Now, if his wealth increases to $200 and his investment in risky assets also increases to $100, but his total proportion of wealth that is involved in risky assets declines to 50%. So here the investor is showing an increasing relative risk aversion, which means that now he is more afraid of the risk. The formula of relative risk aversion is quite easy. Here the wealth is multiplied in absolute risk aversion. Now we will take a derivative of the relative risk aversion and see how the investor behaves with a change in wealth. There could be three scenarios that are, it could be greater than 0, it could be equal to 0, or it could be less than 0. If the derivative of relative risk aversion is greater than 0, it means that the investor, as the wealth of the investor increases, he holds less percentage in risky assets, which means that there is increasing relative risk aversion, which means that now he is more afraid of the risk. If it is equal to 0, which means that he holds same percentage in risky assets, that is the constant relative risk aversion. And if it is less than 0, which means that as his wealth increases, he holds more percentage in risky assets, which is a condition of decreasing relative risk aversion. So here now he is less afraid of risk.